Margie Warrell, so amazing to have you back as part of 52 Weeks of Greatness. Look at you in your beautiful backyard in gorgeous Australia. Thank you for joining me in chilly Ontario, Canada. My name's Sarah McVanel, and as you know, we're part of 52 Weeks of Greatness. And this book, Brave, is such an amazing resource to folks. And I wanted to make sure that people knew that, because it's like, for me, it's the perfect thing to take to bed with me, because I mean, I can read a few pages and it sets up the most amazing night's sleep, because it's just, it's like cleansing your palate. It's like sorbet before the next course, you know?
I love your use of language there. That's great.
What made you decide to write Brave?
Well, you know, I know you read Stop Playing Safe,
Mm-hmm.
and Stop Playing Safe was a book that, you know, I included a lot of research in it and a lot of case studies, a lot of interviews with people, and it's a great book, but I also knew that it was a book that took a lot to digest. And I know myself, you know, with 4 kids and life is busy, that not everyone has time to sit down and read a big chunky book. And so I wanted to create a book that people could literally pick up and read on the fly, like 2 or 3 minutes for a chapter and a little bit of shot of inspiration on a particular topic. And so that's what really inspired me to write it. I wanted a book that anyone could pick up and open any page and find something that would speak to them. And, you know, it has got, you know, 50 everyday acts of courage. And as you know, I believe that we are called to be brave every day of our lives in different ways. And sometimes it's the really big things in life. It's the big things. It's changing job or career. It's getting into a relationship or exiting out of one. It's dealing with a really difficult adversity. But a lot of the time it's the little things. It's the, you know, having that difficult conversation with your friend. It is, you know, confronting an issue with a colleague at work. It is saying no to an invitation because you know you really want to spend the time on something more important, but you hate to disappoint them. So,
or standing up for our inner critic. Is that one too? Would you say that that's also part of it? Yes,
that's true. Not letting that little voice in our heads run the show, because so often it does. So that's why I wrote it. I just wanted a book that could be just an easy book for people to access in their everyday lives. And I'm glad that it sits there beside your bed. That's fantastic.
and you know, one of the things that I find that I do is there's a few, because there's chapters that really speak to you. You know, I'm sure that you've had other people who tell you this. Yeah. One of them is around face your fear and rise above it. And I just love this quote: "Nothing can rob your freedom more quickly than fear." Tell us a little bit about, you know, robbing your freedom and fear. We think of, if we're fearful, isn't that supposed to be helpful for us? It's keeping us from danger.
Yeah. Well, fear is wired into our psychological DNA to protect us, to keep us from feeling pain and from harm. But I mean, we live in a world where we're just being bombarded with every day with reasons to feel afraid. All the time, every headline, because fear sells, right? And so often we don't realize how much fear can set up residence in our lives. It is sitting in the driver's seat, and we're not even conscious how much our fear of disapproval or being rejected or not having what it takes to succeed at something is actually driving the decisions we're making. So it's not a case of getting rid of fear, because fear is an important emotion. It is about discerning between the fears that are serving us and allowing us to live the lives that we are capable of living, and to thrive and to have great relationships and to pursue work that we find deeply meaningful, from the fears that are holding us back. And a lot of time we let fear hold us back, and it robs our freedom, because it robs our freedom to create what it is we want for ourselves and our lives, and to be who it is we even want to be for the people that we care about most.
And I love how you really talk about how we need to create space to be able to do that as well. So once we start to get, clear some of the fear perhaps, or more aware of some of the things that are holding us back, you also help people that bravery is also starting to say no. Some things that have been working really well for us in our life. Maybe it really well liked for those things, right?
Well, you know what? Saying no is hard because you know, we like to be liked. We're wired to want to belong, right? And to be liked and to be part of something. And we want to be thought well of. And so when we get an invitation to lunch or coffee, or we are asked, can you be on this committee? Or could you lead this team? Or, you know, we want to say yes because we know that the person asking us wants us to say yes. And we like to keep people happy. Some of us really like to keep people happy. And often at the expense of our own deepest longings and our own biggest goals. And so sometimes we have to say no to good things, to really good things, things that we may have even a year ago said yes to, because there's bigger things we want to say yes to in our lives. Every time we say yes to an invitation, we're in a sense saying no to other things we could be doing with that time. And that's where I think it's so important. I wrote a blog post about this. You know, don't spend your life majoring the minor activities. You know, really, what is it you most want to do and to be? And when we're clear about those big things, it makes it easier to say no with more grace and less guilt. And I just know that that's something a lot of people find really challenging, particularly women, because we are natural caretakers. But it is so important to be able to say that no and really be clear about why we're saying it too.
Well, and such a great point, because one of the things that I've noticed for some incredibly talented, you know, dynamic women who are running their own businesses and have great families and great relationships, and yet as they are stepping into their greatness, they're rolling in this program, they're like, yes, I'm ready for this to be my year, finally. They're noticing things in their life. It's like, how do I say no to those things? Or how do I decide it actually truly is my year? I'm saying it's my year, but then how do I actually do it? So, you know, do you have advice for us who have been on this treadmill and we didn't even realize we were maybe on it?
Yeah, and I think you can easily find yourself, I know I have to sometimes look at my schedule and go, what in here did I commit to that I really shouldn't have committed to? And they're all good things, right? You know, I like to be helpful and talk, you know, be part of things. And so I think one is getting really clear about what you most want to say yes to for those women who want to do that. Like, picture yourself having achieved that goal. And then you know what is it going to take? And recognize that there's trade-offs. Every choice we make, everything we do has trade-offs. And those trade-offs can be painful. I'm not saying there's no pain. Sometimes I say no to things and I feel a little pain because I really want to say yes to it. But there's something even bigger that I'm committed to. And I think when what we commit our time to aligns with what we are most committed to, balance sorts itself out. Not on a daily basis, but, you know, over the course of the month, the year. And so to them, even letting people know, why is it that you're saying, I would love to do this. We can say no to the request and not no to the person. In fact, I created a free little e-course about this. I'll share with you to share with you.
Please.
Because it's something I know a lot of people struggle with, and how do we say no, and recognizing we can still take care of the relationship and the person and say, thank you so much for asking me. I really appreciate it. I value our friendship. I value this opportunity. However, there's something else I'm working on and I wouldn't be doing you a service, you know, I'd be doing you injustice to it or whatever it is. But I do think we have to be willing to say no. And I know as a mum, as with kids going through school, you can get asked to volunteer your life away too. And you want to volunteer. You want to be part of the parent committee and you want to be showing up and involved. And that's great. But you could spend all of your time doing that. And if you do that, that's a choice. You won't do other things. So whatever you choose, just choose powerfully. And to me, it's not right or wrong. It's like, what's really serving you, and really own your choices and don't make excuses.
And that comes full circle back to why I choose to have this book beside my bed as opposed to something else that's not going to feed my soul, because that's what I want to be. The first thing that I think about when I go to bed is something that feeds my soul. And then the first thing I look at that will remind me, even if I don't have time to read it when I wake up, I want to say yes to having that mindset continue through the day. So amazing. Thank you so much for your time again. And just continue to bring these gifts. You've got another book coming out. So tell us about that so that we can put it on our wish list.
Yeah, I have a book coming out called Make Your Mark, a guidebook for the brave-hearted. And it really was born from... I started running Live Brave Women's Weekends, and so many wonderful, big-hearted, big-thinking women just looking for a process to get clarity. Where do I want to go? How do I get there? And what do I need to do to break through the fears and the limited thinking, the stories we carry around with ourselves about why we can't. So it's really a book that has a lot of questions. It needs to be read with a pen in hand to help people really set their bravest course to their biggest life. And it's a different book again. It's one that really takes people through a very sequential process to get to a point where they've reset their compass and they've got their goal plan and they're in action and they're on their way.
I'm advanced ordering copy right today. I hope that Amazon's ready for me because I'm coming. Awesome.
I don't think it's on Amazon just yet, but it will be soon. So stay tuned.
Yeah. I'll make myself a note so I don't forget. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Enjoy your gorgeous day.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm heading out for coffee now, and I know it's your evening. It's my morning, but I'm just really grateful for connecting with you, and thank you for reaching out, and thank you for helping also affirm and support what I'm doing too. I think we can be braver when we are connected with other people around us that support that. So thank you for doing that for me.
Goosebumps. So agreed. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you.